What measures will you take to protect the natural beauty of the area? Or talk to me about your environmental concerns.
Protecting the environment is incredibly important to me because I live in a rural part of the district. I live in the mountains. I live in the mountains because I love the mountains and I want to keep them as pristine as possible. And the same thing goes for other regions in the district. I feel exactly the same way about the desert. We actually have, I'm going to call it a little family campsite in Lucerne Valley, which is really more of a nature preserve. It's just empty land with nothing but a fire pit, and we go and camp every once in a while. So protecting the natural landscape here is really important to me. So one thing I talk about a lot online, and if you follow the campaign, is I want to explore some real investments as a county in renewable energy, but specifically on land that's been disturbed already. And the thing I talk about a lot is warehouse roofs. So we have 1 billion square feet of warehouse space in the Inland Empire. 2/3, 3/4 of that is in San Bernardino County.
Right.
If you do the back of the envelope math on what is the average yield for a solar panel per square foot per day, if we cover half of that space in solar panels, we meet the entire electric need of San Bernardino County per year today.
If only California got sunshine and available resource.
Sunshine. If only this district had sunshine, wind, and the things we need to support that kind of infrastructure.
Yeah, this district has so much sunshine, they built the observatory here. This district, they have an observatory here because I think Big Bear gets 356 days of sun out of the year.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's a reason why we live here, right?
Yeah, right.
So, one of the reasons I mentioned that is I don't think we're doing a great job of conservation as a county because if anyone doesn't know, San Bernardino County has the most polluted air in the entire United States. And that is a statistic that I find just personally pretty disappointing.
Right.
The fact that we're not doing anything really to address it, I think is an issue. And we have these opportunities to invest in this kind of infrastructure without even touching our natural landscape. And the fact that we're not even talking about it and we're not doing it, I think is a real bummer. This is why you should consider voting for me.
Okay.
So right now, the Board of Supervisors doesn't have a single member and there's not a single candidate who lives in a rural and unincorporated part of the community.
Right.
So one, I'm a full-time mountain resident. I know what it's like to live in the mountain. I know what it's like to not receive our fair share of resources from the county. So you should consider voting for me because you will have a representative on the board who understands mountain life. And then, by the way, my appeal to people off the mountain is I also understand city life. I lived in LA. I lived in London for 12 years.
Right.
I spend a lot of time in the desert. I know what it's like to be a desert resident as well. But I really wanted to be the champion on the board for the rural and unincorporated parts of the county because I think we all know what it's like when the government here just does not have your back, doesn't communicate with you. It really sucks to feel left out, and I know exactly how that feels.
Yeah, why do you like championing the underserved communities?
Because we need a voice. Right?
It's just like a challenge?
Well,
is that how you're wired?
Well, look, it's become life-threatening for us, right? I mean, the whole origin for my campaign came about from Snowmageddon last year.
Snowmageddon, yeah.
Right? We all lived through it. We all know what it was like. It was especially hard in our side of the mountain just because we are unincorporated. We don't have the ski resorts right nearby. We don't have a city council who can help control resources.
Yeah.
So we felt completely cut off. And in order to get the attention of the county, it wasn't even calling up the supervisors' offices. It took a coordinated social media campaign just to get them to pick up the phone.
Right.
And I think after that whole experience, I realized this needs to be done better. We need someone who really understands what it's like to be in this position and really start to make some improvements in the county in terms of there are some really easy wins, like better communication with residents, tell people what is actually coming.
Right.
Just be a bit more in front of problems before they get too bad.